And if they are doing it, we want them to be able to publish it so that way we can actually see what is going on in these companies, at least on the risk side, and the ways that they're, reining in these models in terms of these, risk evaluations. And they're basically stating, look, transparency alone doesn't guarantee robust policies, because the problem is that yes, these companies might be open about what's happening, but they might just lie. They might just be like, okay, we've got a responsible policy where we check one output from the model, and it could be an extremely weak policy that isn't, thoroughly vetted. And of course, they could release these models into the wild that could have a, potential catastrophe. If these models do, exist in the wild, crazy things can happen if they're uncensored, unfiltered, and people can literally do what they want with them. Of course, if these companies have these relaxed security measures, transparency isn't going to solve that. But they also, do talk about, accelerating the AI industry. They talk about, of course, they must not impose burdens that are unnecessary or unrelated to the issues at hand. And it says one of the worst things that could happen to cause the catastrophic risk prevention is a link between forming regulation that's needed to prevent risks and burdensome or illogical rules. Any bill or law should also be so simple to understand and implement. Complexity creates confusion and makes it harder to predict what will happen in practice. They're basically saying, look, they don't want any crazy, insane laws that's like gonna, cause people to do like insane loopholes and stuff like that. It should just be pure, simple, and cut so that everyone can understand it. And of course, not be unnecessary. Now, this is where they get into the, FAQs. And I think this is really good because I know a lot of people are going to have questions. Maybe you've even commented something down below. But it says here that this post talks a lot about CBRN misuses and cyber risks. And why not other nearer term risks like deepfakes and child safety? And this is a great question. But they say this post is not an attempt to address every possible safety problem posed by generative AI systems. Instead, it aims to lay out principles for grappling with some types of risks which aren't well addressed by regulation today and which show up in computationally intensive frontier models. We continue to address near-term risks through things like our election integrity and work with other organizations. Basically, it's like, guys, of course, those things are still issues, but right now they're focusing on Gen AI because this is the one that is steamrolling ahead without any kind of regulations at all.